Very messy in the Western Cape this morning, parts of the province having woken up to heavy rain and strong winds this morning. It's following those deadly floods in the past few days that have left at least 2 people dead and very badly damaged infrastructure around the province. Chapman's Peak Drive, by the way, has been closed. As of this hour, it is still closed this morning. Avoid the area completely. Also, according to Irma G, looking after our traffic here on the show, Metro Rail, by the way, Northern, Central and Cape Flats lines also not operational this morning. We'll get an update from Irma traffic-wise in a couple of minutes, but let's bring in Colin Deiner from the Western Cape Disaster Management team joining us this morning. Hello to you, Colin. I appreciate the time. This sounds like a bit of a disaster. When people in Cape Town say the wind is bad, you must know how bad it is. Good morning.
Good morning, Gareth. Yes, we got a weather warning yesterday, what's called a level 5 warning for strong winds. But we've also got warnings for wave heights, so anything from 5 to 8 meter wave heights. And then we have a level 4 rain warning. So this is the 4th cold front that we've had, which started on Thursday. So yes, we're really taking a bit of a beating.
Yeah, I'm sure you are as well. But despite the beating you're taking, you're still out there doing what needs to be done, keeping people safe. What is the situation this morning? I know 2 deaths in the past few days. Low-lying areas are a problem. What are you doing at the moment, and what sort of help do you need?
Yeah, so what we did was the worst for us areas that were hit on the first couple of days were the West Coast and the Cape Winelands area. And then down to the Overberg. So we had trouble in Overstrand and Manus to Gansbaai area where 4 Eskom pylons went down. They had to be repaired. That took about 2 days, but I must say excellent work going up the mountains to replace those pylons. We had a substation in Somerset West that was flooded. But then our biggest challenge was a whole number of towns that were cut off sort of on the West Coast in the Cederberg, Matsikama area, towns like Citrusdal. We had to do temporary evacuations in Klaver and in Vredendal, and then also area like Wuppertal was cut off. So we started a big operation on Saturday to reach those towns. So there were 2 parallel operations. On the one side, we were working with Gift of the Givers and SASA to reach those towns with 4-wheel drives and with helicopters. We couldn't do it on Saturday because of the weather, but we were able to reach Wuppertal yesterday and deliver about 8 tons of resources to the public there. And then also we were able to reach Citrusdal on Saturday with 4-wheel drive vehicles and with trucks, and we were able to provide food. So it's really a humanitarian operation, but also trying to keep things clear. And then, of course, our warnings for today are for the Cape Winelands and also for the Overberg. So our focus is looking at just the acute stage, which would mean, rescue and evacuations and that stuff if it's required.
And let's talk about, obviously, Gift of the Givers. I think everyone knows by now what a great job they do. SASA, for those who don't know, off-road search and rescue operation. A lot of volunteers doing incredible work that you're involved with as well. I imagine they're still on scene. What's the necessity, Colin, for EMS at this point? Are they on standby? Are we talking SAPS water wing? How far into EMS and government authorities are we having to lean on?
Yeah, so very heavily. I mean, they're part of our system from the get-go, and the volunteers obviously work under their structures. So EMS have been fantastic. We had a very small window to be able to rescue a person on Friday who had serious head injuries in Citrusdal. They were able to, under difficult conditions, fly in and bring the person to Cape Town. Our EMS rescue teams, police divers have assisted. They assisted looking for the victim in the Overberg. So yeah, what we did and what we normally do in the province is we bring together all the role players when we get these warnings. We look at what needs to happen, and then we pre-position them, and they form part of the greater SADC command system. Also like to mention the Air Force. They provided us with a helicopter as well, which came in on Saturday to help with the operations that we carried out yesterday. So yeah, it's really it's all of society. It's the individual volunteer groups as well as government response. And we work very well together.
Yeah, it's quite something to watch. It's like a well-tuned orchestra when you watch all of you working together between the Air Force, SAP, SARS, our Gift of the Givers, and also disaster management, provincial disaster management. It all works very, very seamlessly. So well done to you all. Please be safe as well. In closing, Colin, there are always going to be those people, though. We know we're always going to have those people who aren't going to abide by the warnings. They're going to try and cross low lying bridges when clearly it's flooded. Let's just go through Idiot 101 guide here as to how to keep yourself alive before I say goodbye.
Yeah, thanks, Gareth. I think the important thing is that, the warnings have been good. We've proved over the weekend that the soils warnings have been accurate. Every morning we've gone back to those warnings with them. We've seen whether we're still on track, and they have been on track. So, listen to the warnings. We don't want to give a broad warning, but if a warning comes out for a specific area, please obey that warning. If it's not necessary to travel, don't travel. Don't cross any waterways. You don't know what's underneath it. You don't know how strong the flow is. Because of dams being opened, we see a flash flooding taking place. We see constant flow taking place. And, this is an extraordinary storm that we're dealing with, and I think people just need to respect that. It would be over probably in about 2 days or so, and then hopefully we'll be able to go back to normal.
Hopefully that will be the case as well. Please don't turn a warning into a rescue, I think is what a lot of the rescuers say as well. The warnings are there, don't turn it into a rescue. They really don't need you to add to their burdens. Colin, thank you very much indeed. Colin Deiner from the Western Cape Disaster Management team joining us this morning.